Today I'm going to be reviewing two different violin pickups. One is the Kremona VV-3 pickup, the other is the Barcus-Berry 3100 violin pickup. Now both of these are piezo pickups, and what they do is they translate the vibrations from the bridge into a 1/4-inch jack. That jack goes into a preamp, and the preamp converts the sound, and that goes into your DAW or out to an amplifier. In this case today, I'm using a 1/4-inch jack to an LR Baggs Para-Acoustic preamp, and that's going into my UA Aero interface, and that's going into Pro Tools on a Mac Mini. The thing about installing these jacks is you have to be careful with the spacers that the key, you don't put it all the way through the hole. There is a hole on the other side, and if you put that key, the metal of the key, all the way through, it can scratch into the wood, so you have to be very careful about that. So the Kremona pickup has a piezo pickup that is housed in some wood, and what that does is it goes in the slot of the bridge. It's supposed to go on the treble side, but as you can see, it doesn't actually fit on the treble side of my bridge. It's just too narrow, and I'm not going to use any sandpaper or anything to alter the bridge, so I have to put it on the bass side. And as you can see on the bass side, I need a shim to make it fit tightly in there. The gap is just too big on the bass side. Now, the way the Barcus-Berry pickup is installed is a little bit more complex than the Kremona. First, you need to line up the bottom screw with the bottom slot of the bridge. And then once you've done that, it bridges the gap, and you then need to clamp the top part of the pickup onto the bridge. This pickup does not come with its own screwdriver. You do need to use a small jeweler's size screwdriver. You also need to be careful about not damaging the wood of your violin when you're installing it. You need to be very careful and not slip and gouge the finish of your violin. Another thing you need to be careful about with these kind of pickups is the wire that goes from the pickup to the 1/4-inch jack. You need to keep it off the faceplate of your violin. I had this problem and I couldn't figure out what was going on until I figured out that the faceplate of the violin does vibrate when you play, and that vibration was rattling the wire of the Barcus-Berry pickup, and so you need to keep that off of the faceplate, and so this is how I keep it off the faceplate. Now, one thing about the Barcus-Berry pickup is the way it clamps onto the bridge, it does mute the acoustic sound. So I wouldn't recommend just attaching this and playing acoustically if you're going to be mic'd some other way. It does deaden the sound, and that will affect how you sound. Another thing about the Barcus-Berry pickup is that top screw does make contact with the bridge, and the way you tighten it, it does leave a mark on the bridge, and over time, with taking it off and putting it back on and so on and so forth, it will damage the bridge, so you do need to be careful about that. So that is a mark against the Barcus-Berry pickup. All right, let's see how they sound. And as you could probably hear, at least to my ears, the Kremona pickup has a really scratchy, a shrill sound that I really wasn't able to fix in post. And my philosophy is that if it doesn't sound somewhat good, at least at the beginning, no amount of processing in post is going to fix it. You have to start with a good signal at first, and the Kremona just did not give a good signal at any point. The Barcus-Berry, by contrast, had a nice, deep, rich, full sound that I really enjoyed and only improved in post-processing. But like I said, the Barcus-Berry pickup does affect the acoustic sound, and when I'm playing just with friends and stuff like that, I wouldn't be able to use the pickup on the bridge. I'd need to remove it. The problem there is that, again, when you use the screw to attach it to the bridge, that does leave a mark, and that repeated taking it off, putting it back on is it's gonna create more and more damage to the bridge. Also, you keep running the risk with that screwdriver of having an accident, slipping and gouging the finish of your violin. So while it sounds good recorded, I'm still not sold on the usefulness of this pickup in general because of the problems it creates when you don't want the pickup to be active. So my final assessment is that the Kremona pickup really is useless to my ears. It just doesn't give a good sound. I don't think that putting it on the treble side is really going to create all that much difference. And so I'm not going to alter the bridge to find out. The other pickup, the Barcus-Berry, is a really nice sounding pickup. It gives a nice, rich, warm sound that I can really work with. The problem is that if I'm not playing amplified, if I'm not playing into a DAW, or I'm not playing into an amplifier, if I'm just playing live acoustically, I have to remove the Barcus-Berry pickup. It interferes with the sound too much. And the installation and the removal of it is really an involved process that I am not really relishing the thought of doing over and over again. So really, neither of these is perfect, but if I had to recommend one, it would be the Barcus-Berry, without a doubt. The Kremona it doesn't have anything useful to offer as far as I'm concerned.